Hey folks, I'm just making this wee video because, you know, I drive around a lot in my old Volvo, and I love my old Volvo, don't get me wrong, right? I absolutely love this car, right? But it's not very fast, right? It's a 21-year-old Volvo estate, right? Probably weighs close to 2 ton because it's like the 4-wheel drive automatic gearbox one, you know, and it's a 5-cylinder, you know, like D5 engine and whatnot, you know. So it's not exactly fast, and it's heavy, and it's old, right? To add to all of that, I carry all my tools in the back, you know. So like I've got like my toolkit, I've got my chainsaw, got my fuel, I've got everything in the back, right? That in mind, I don't drive very fast. And what you do notice when you don't drive very fast is all the impatient drivers. So all the drivers that are impatient, that like to drive at like 70 mile an hour or 80 mile an hour or whatever, however fast they're going, everywhere they go, even in the streets around the town, they drive at that speed, right? So bearing that in mind, you do notice certain things. Like BMW drivers, for instance. BMW drivers never want to drive slow. That's just a fact, right? Because BMW drivers have a fast car. They do have fast cars, and the BMWs, they handle well on the road as well. So they're a lot more fast. They're a lot faster. But the one thing that you notice is how impatient they actually are when they come across a slow driver. Oh, my radios came on. Yeah, 1 second. So yeah, so BMW drivers, when they come across a slow driver, they are so impatient, and everybody knows this. It's a fact, right? Because their cars handle faster and they're more nimble and whatnot, you know. They think everybody should be driving the same way they drive, right? But that's not the case. I drive a 21-year-old Volvo, you know. I'm not driving like a BMW driver, all right? No matter what. But when you see them driving past, they're looking in at you, giving you the eyeball and all that, you know. Usually when they see a big hairy face like me, you know what I mean, they kind of go, oh, well, I better not stare at him too much, you know. But nevertheless, my car handles like a lump of lard on an ice rink. So I'm not driving fast for nobody, you know. To add to that, I'm curious about this because there's 2 of these types of drivers on the road. The BMW drivers and the Alfa Romeo drivers. Now I know they're both pretty impatient people, right? But I wonder which one is the most impatient, because this morning I've had 2 Alfa Romeos overtake me between Kilburnie and Lochwinnock, right? Now bear in mind that is one windy ass little road, and the roads are pretty wet and slimy this morning, you know. So you'd be lucky if I'm braking 50 miles an hour. Even on the straight, you'd be lucky if I'm braking 50 miles an hour. Oh, the sun just caught that there. So, and like most of the time when I'm going around the corners and whatnot, a lot of them actually have a maximum speed limit on the corners of like 30 mile an hour anyway. So I slow right down to 30 mile an hour, I don't care. You know, like when I'm going around the sharp S-bends and whatnot. And then like the camber and all that's off, you know. So my 2-ton 21-year-old Volvo doesn't really take those corners very well. But these like Alfa Romeo drivers and BMW drivers, they really don't like you going slow. Oh no, 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 no! Even in the corners where it says max speed 30 mile an hour, they still like to be doing 60. Oh yeah. And when they're not in the corner, they're doing 70, 80 miles an hour along that road. You know, so, and to me, in my 21, I've had a smaller car, you know, like a younger, like more nimble, you know, faster car. I would do that as well. But I don't have one of those cars, so I don't do those speeds. But I tell you this much, in my old Volvo, trundling around, see that amount of people that you see that get upset, they get angry, they get pissed off because you're not doing the speed that they want to do. It's unbelievable. And I'm not like the type of guy that backs down from anything. So when they're eyeballing me, fucking I'm eyeballing them straight back. You know? There's no way I'm taking that crap. So when they're sitting there going, what you want? You know what I mean? I'm like, what you want? What you want? You know? I don't care. It makes no difference to me. You know? And I've actually had in the past a couple of people step out of their car and confront me about the speed that I'm driving. Sometimes when you're driving in Glasgow and whatnot, you're driving at 30 miles an hour because of the 30 zones, right? But these drivers don't like to drive at 30 miles an hour. And if they're coming up to a red light, they'll want you to speed up, so as then you can get through that red light quicker. But if that red light changes and my 2-ton Volvo, right, can't stop, I'm not speeding up for that light. No way am I speeding up for that light. I'm going to carry on at the speed that I'm doing, and if it changes, I'll stop. It's as simple as that. But if I'm doing more than 30 miles an hour in a 30 zone, and I'm coming up to a set of traffic lights, you can guarantee I'm not going to try and catch that light, because this car doesn't stop on a penny. You know? Just doesn't do it. So that in mind, I actually had a situation with a guy one time. I had a situation where he jumped out of his car and he went, you could have made that, you could have made that. Because I stopped when it was like amber. You know, I didn't stop when it was amber, but I started to slow down when it was amber. And I'm going, mate, I'm driving a freaking 2-ton, 21-year-old Volvo. I'm not going to speed around the streets like you do, you know? And he's going, oh, you could have fucking made that, you fucking... And he's giving it... He's proper having a go at me. And I'm trying to calm him down, but it just wasn't going to calm down. So I stepped out of my car, and without even, like, any sort of warning whatsoever, I just stuck the nut right on him. I mean, I leveled that guy out. Don't get me wrong, I helped him back in his car, but, like, at the same time, he must have looked at me and thought I was some kind of pushover. I'm 6 foot tall, and I weigh nearly 20 stone. Good bit of a gut on me, mind you, you know what I mean? So it looks like I'm fat, but I'm not. I carry trees around for a living. I carry trees around. You know, like I cut down trees. You know, that sort of work ain't easy. So I just got out of the car, and I did boxing for years and played rugby and all sorts. You know, so you wanna fight me? Okay, I'll step out of the car, and if you want to confront me, I will have you. But at the same time, how sad is it? You know, like getting out of the car at red light. You know, screaming at me because he wanted me to speed up to over 30 miles an hour so as I could get through the light. And I get out of my car and I sort him out, you know, but at the same time, he was driving a BMW. And I know it's a stereotype, right? I know it is. I know. Not all BMW drivers all drive the same, right? But I'm talking like probably over 50% of them at least are absolute knob jockeys. I mean, like, I don't know why I see it so much, because probably because I drive like kind of lackadaisical, like I'm driving Miss Daisy around like I'm Morgan Freeman. But that's besides the point. I don't have to drive fast. There's no legal obligation to drive fast, and actually, the motorway speeds have actually slowed. See, since the fuel prices have went up, motorway speeds have actually slowed down because people are trying to conserve fuel. You know, we're like nearly 160 a litre at the moment, you know, so there is that. But I don't give a crap. I really don't. And if you want to eyeball me when you're driving past and all that kind of stuff, that's fine. I'll eyeball you right back. But I guarantee you this: you step out of your car, and I will level you out. Because that's just the way it is. You know, I'm not going to back down to you because you drive a BMW and you want to drive fast. You know, if you can't see that my car's 20 years old, 21 years old, and is like a Volvo Estate automatic that weighs nearly 2 tons, I'm not going to go around the corners at 60 miles an hour. You know? Sorry, this is a bit of a rant here, you know what I mean? But there's 2 types of drivers on the road that don't like this: Alfa Romeo drivers and BMW drivers. Absolute bellends, the lot of them.